I made a video a while back on communication, and I mentioned this verse, Colossians 4:6. It goes like this: "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man." Now I got this question from a viewer. What does it mean to be always with grace, seasoned with salt? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look that one up. So I did. I looked at some commentaries, and I looked at the direct translation from the original language, and here's what I found. Now I'll read the verse one more time. "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man." Now speech is something that we say. This includes the thought behind what we're saying and the general topic or intention of what you're saying. So it's not just the words that are coming out of your mouth. So when the verse says, "Let your speech be always with grace," it's not just talking about the words. It's talking about the thought behind the words and your intention for the words. Let that be always with grace. Now what does grace mean? Grace is a graciousness of manner. It implies a divine influence upon your heart and how that influence is reflected in your life. So does God have an influence in your heart? If so, your speech, or the thoughts behind your speech, your intentions for your speech, is going to reflect God's influence on your heart. Now what about this phrase, seasoned with salt? Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt. Now seasoned, the word that they use there literally means seasoned or spiced, to prepare something with a little extra flavor. And the figurative language continues with the word salt. Seasoned with salt. The salt is figurative for prudence. And prudence isn't a word that we use a lot, but it means knowing how to avoid embarrassment or distress, or having discretion in political affairs. You might think of prudence as a quality which would glorify God and not embarrass us if Christ were standing right there listening to us as we're talking to somebody. So seasoned with salt is talking about spicing our conversation with this prudence, with this knowledge of how to avoid embarrassing ourselves as children of God, this knowledge of how to bring glory to His name in our daily conversation. So just to review, speech is not just our words, it's the meaning or the intention behind the words. Grace is a graciousness of manner that reflects how God is influencing our heart. And the seasoned with salt phrase means that our conversation should be actually spiced up, not dumbed down, but actually spiced up with a prudence or discretion of knowing how to glorify God with our words.